What's up, people? Straight Shootin LJA here, and welcome to another edition of the Straight Shootin View. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is Greg Clarke and his comments. The media are obviously focusing on just what he said about us black people, but there was some pretty offensive stuff in there about women and gay people as well. And based on Clarke's track record, yeah, not great. But one thing I do want to posit as a theory is that, you know what, part of me feels that Greg Clarke dropped yesterday's comments at the time of this being recorded. I think he dropped his comments on November 10th, 2020 deliberately. Part of me does anyway, because you got to think of it, he's been in business and football for a long time. And with the roles he's held, especially at the FA and the vice presidency of FIFA, and also Leicester City as well, he was a chairman there for a bit as well. So it's not as if he didn't know or wouldn't know the sensibilities of the language he used, and also how his language could offend. Because that's one of the keys here, the language used. And I'm going to come back to that because there were some very interesting comments from Marvin Sordell in regards to this as well. But again, tying into my theory of Clarke deliberately burying himself, for me, the FA needed to deflect from the lack of diversity in their top roles, which has been highlighted again recently, obviously with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything regarding that. So it's been highlighted again that the FA's lack of diversity at the very top, and like with their council and that kind of thing. And we've highlighted it before on Pitch Talk shows. We actually did a drill down into it on a Pitch Talk show. So it's a case of, this is not a new thing for the FA to be facing about a lack of diversity, especially when it comes to BAME, black and minority ethnic people. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of them ones, but for me, the focus has now actually been deflected from the lack of diversity at the FA onto Clarke's comments. Because people always remember the last thing that you did. Some people, pretty much non-football fans, when you bring up Zinedine Zidane, the first thing they think of is the headbutt on Materazzi in the World Cup. And it's like, you look at the career Zinedine Zidane had, to remember him just for that is an absolute joke. And to remember Greg Clarke just for those comments is not great. But to me, I said, it deflects attention from the FA and their lack of diversity. And also Clarke has history of this as well. He does have a bit of a history of it early on. So for me, it's one of them ones where I mean, I'll come back to that one in a second about his history. But for me, the problem with getting rid of Greg Clarke for just that slip up, saying the word coloured in regards to black people, getting rid of him for just that, for me, I said, deflects from the corruption and the damage to the game during his time and his tenure at the FA. Because remember, Clarke was already under pressure because he got revealed as initiating the process in regards to Project Big Picture. So that's already a reason, again, tying into my somewhat conspiracy theory, tying into that, it's one of them where obviously Clarke has brought, because he was involved at the kind of initial stages of Project Big Picture, it's one of them, it doesn't look great PR-wise on the FA because he's their head, he's their chief. And Project Big Picture, I have done a Straight Shootin View on that. Check that one out at youtube.com/Pitch Talk. Also on Instagram TV as well, at Pitch Talk on Instagram, on IGTV. But I mean, nobody can afford bad PR in this world, as I've said. From football clubs to companies, nobody can afford bad PR. And for me, to be the head man at the FA and be revealed to have basically spearheaded the utter disgrace, it must be said, that was Project Big Picture, it doesn't look good. Especially when you're supposed to be the guardians of the game. And we remember Martin Glenn's quote? If you don't, thank you, Martin Glenn is one of the episodes of the Straight Shootin View on youtube.com/pitch talk. Remember when Martin Glenn said, "Oh, we are the FA, we are the guardians of the game. We need to be seen to be applying the rules evenly and consistently." So it's one of them ones where when you've got that kind of attitude, I mean these kind of moronic slip-ups are going to happen, and that kind of arrogance as well is going to come through. Because I said, remember that Martin Glenn quote? After Sam Allardyce got fired, the FA called themselves the guardians of the game. But bear in mind as well, as said, Clarke didn't just make comments and offensive assertions about people of colour. He also made remarks about women and gay people as well. Say, I think one of his comments was about someone coming out as gay and it being a life choice. Just and it's like, come on, dude, really? So you're going down that road? And also as well saying that, but what's it, bringing up an anecdote about a woman being afraid to be hit in the face by a ball. It's like, come on, there's sexism as well. So there's sexism, homophobia, and also racism, with not just using the word coloured, but also some of the assertions about Asian people predominantly being in IT. It's like, oh God, foot in mouth. But also remember, this is all coming from a man who back in 2016 dismissed institutional racism in the FA as fluff. So literally just brushing off institutional racism in the Football Association. So really and truly, with this laundry list of comments, especially offensive ones, it should be of no surprise what he said. I'm not condoning it, I'm not advocating it in any way, shape or form. I'm just saying, if you're gonna bury the guy for just using the word coloured, it deflects attention from everything else abhorrent that has gone on during his tenure at the FA, and everything else abhorrent that he said, because everything needs to be lumped in when you're factoring in this guy's the head of the FA, and he holds basically homophobic, sexist views with his anecdote, and also racist views as well with some of his assertions about career choices and all that. And it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? It's like, were you stuck in 1972? Or more accurately, probably 1952. So there's that issue as well. But for me, also as well, I think, coming back to Marvin Sordell's comments, I think he's spot on when he says words have power. And it's not just what you say, but how you say it. The tone. And of course, in the immortal words of Eric Bischoff, context is king. Remember, Greg Clarke was talking to the government whilst he wasn't like recorded secretly saying this among friends. This dude was actually saying this to government. So it's like, it's not as if he's saying it to a room of his friends and there's like 2 people with him. No. So it's like, dude, no, it's like, oh, it was a slip. It's like, no, bro, you blatantly hold those views. Because you didn't just say one thing, you said a multitude of things. So it's not as if you just slipped up on one word, oh, sorry about that. No, that's not good enough. And it's just one of them where I just look at it as this, it's utterly frustrating, and it really is a source of consternation that we still have these dinosaurs in the game. That we really still do have these dinosaurs in the game. I mean, Pitch Talk co-host the G-Man actually said to me about the comments was the fact that he was basically saying that that basically he sees it as a dinosaur that got caught slipping. And he saw bits of the video and basically said it so casually, which suggests he's used to talking in such a manner, and he forgot to filter for the interview. And for me, it's one of them ones where it's like, if he's having to filter to that level generally, then clearly he's not fit to be running the Football Association anyway, or running what the FA wants to be. There's for me the key, what the FA wants to be or says it is. So there's that issue, but also as well, Greg Clarke saying that, oh yeah, because I've worked in America, I'm used to saying, oh, people of colour. It's like, nah, bro. Sorry, dude, but that doesn't work. Because the phrase people of colour and coloured people are two completely different things. The phrase coloured is extremely offensive. And I know I've said it a few times, but it's for the purpose of context. But the fact of the matter is they are two completely different statements. So, and the G-man saying that basically man said it so, the dude said it so casually, that plays into it as well, because that means he's used to saying it. And him being used to saying it is a major source of consternation, and that should be worrying. I said, this guy's now the former head of the FA, and he was so comfortable dropping that word. It's like, no. It's not as if this was. This dude. I don't know, man. I mean, no, it just doesn't wash for me. I mean, for me, Greg Clarke's comments are massively problematic, because if those views of his that I mentioned earlier are held about black and minority ethnic people and gay people and women by the guardians of the game, then that's a problem for all of us. Because those thoughts won't just be limited to Greg Clarke. All of his minions and underlings will have the same opinions. And those thoughts will always influence decisions at the FA, and that erodes trust and confidence in the FA and in their intentions. Because they're always saying, oh, we're about inclusivity, we're about diversity. But these kind of comments coming from the top man completely contradicts that. So, I mean, Jolyon Lescott as well, I mean, it has said that, Clarke sacking won't actually change anything at the FA. And for me, he's right. Because it's another archaic organisation that we've said on numerous pitch talk shows over the last decade now, that it needs to be destroyed and rebuilt. Get rid of the corrupt, get rid of the old boys network and all that. Get rid of it. It needs to happen. But again, I'm with Jolyon Lescott. I don't think it will change. And if they just so happen to put a black guy in charge of the FA now, it's just going to look like taking the knee. A token gesture. And again, another Straight Shoot review episode. Taking the knee. Is it just a token gesture? So, in terms of solutions, the FA has got a lot of work to do. Screw your PR. Screw your PR. It's about doing the right thing. And as guardians of the game, the FA should be doing the right thing. Not seen to be doing the right thing, they should be doing the right thing and protecting the game like the guardians they claim to be. Because being guardians of the game, that's not me coming up with that. That was Martin Glenn, who was chief executive of the FA at the time when Sam Allardyce was sacked. He was the one who said the Football Association are the guardians of the game. So that's not even my line there. That's a direct quote from, as said, that's what the FA want to be, or want to show that they're trying to be. Or that's the gimmick that they're trying to put over. We're the guardians of the game. Anyway. But yeah, let me know your views on my theory. Did Greg Clarke drop these comments deliberately, just to deflect attention away from the lack of diversity at the FA and take one for the team? Did he do it? Comment section is below. Please let me know your views. I have been Straight Shootin LJA. Remember, at Pitch Talk on Instagram. See what we're up to there. We've got special feature segments. We've got vlogs from myself, Straight Shootin LJA, the G-Man, with 5 minutes with the G. You got my one, the Straight Shootin View, and you got coaching with JBK, as well as these special feature segments. Also, youtube.com/Pitch Talk. See our videos, see what we are up to there as well. Also, twitter.com/Pitch Talk or at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Join the footballing revolution. Remember, facebook.com/Pitch Talk as well. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the discussions and help. Spread the word. Spread the word. I have been Straight Shootin LJA, and this has been another episode of the Straight Shootin View. Thanks for joining me, peeps, and until next time, keep shooting. See you later, peeps. Thank you.